Patrice McDonald was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, before moving to Maryland in 2017. Working in higher education for 10 years, she has coordinated student orientations, leadership, and engagement programs, provided academic and career advising, and designed and taught first-year student curriculums. Currently, Patrice serves as the Assistant Director for a community college satellite campus in Maryland. In surviving multiple intimate and romantic offenses, God showed her how her offenses influenced other areas of her life, especially her faith and calling. As an overcomer, her mission is to see people accept and receive healing in every aspect of their lives so that they can experience life and have it more abundantly, as in John 10:10. To live a purpose-filled life. When Patrice isn't spending time with family and friends, taking classes, or traveling, she's serving in a women's ministry for women who experienced sexual harm through First Baptist Church of Glenderen in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, where she is a member. She's working on her first book, Bountifully You: Overcoming Rejection and Other Intimate Offenses, due out in the winter of 2024. You can subscribe to her YouTube channel, Bountifully You, to learn more about these topics. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have Patrice McDonald. Okay, everybody, and tonight we have Patrice McDonald, and she is joining us all the way from where again, Patrice?
From Odenton, Maryland.
Wow. Um, Me and Patrice, wow, we go way back, way back. I have watched her grow into the beautiful young woman that she is now. And I just love it. It's like I look at her and I remember the little girl. Because I don't even think you were in high school yet when I started going to the church. I don't,
Probably not.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
you were
so.
still, yeah, you were a little girl because my kids were little and you guys are all around the same age. And now I'm not going to give numbers because that's going to age me. So I'm not going to do it. But it is so, I'm just overjoyed and pleased that you agreed to come on with me today and to speak. Um, so normally what I do is I just ask a few questions and you answer those, and then I just like you to just go in and just tell us your story and to just speak and be comfortable and release whatever it is you want to release.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
great. Patrice, if you were to do anything over in your life differently, what would you do?
It's a great question. That's a question I think about often. And I don't know that I would do anything differently because I don't want to have regrets. And I think that the beautiful thing about, especially about my faith in God, is that I've learned to put it in his hands and trust like what his word says when he says um, that he would cause it to work for my good. So I think fortunately I've gotten to a place where, even with the trials and tribulations, even with the mistakes that I've made, I have been able to see how it all worked out and how it works for my good. And there are so many lessons that I learned and so much growth and development that's happened, as a result. So I don't think I would do anything differently.
Okay, what is the day in the life of Patrice?
Oh my goodness. So a day in the life of Patrice. So I well, as you know, I'm working on a book, and I'm also working on developing a business, a coaching business for women. And so that entails waking up sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, doing writing, planning, social media marketing, things of that nature, putting together my social media calendar for the day or like for a few days. But before all of that, just taking time, spending time in God's presence, praying and reading scripture, and just enjoying where I am. I'm very fortunate to be where I am, and I'm grateful and thankful and just appreciative of that. And then from there, it's getting ready for work. Um, I used to dislike my commute into work, but, but I love plants and nature. And as I'm driving into work, I get to just look at all the trees and everything and just sometimes just have a quiet moment as I'm driving into work, just to mentally prepare myself for whatever might come up. And during the day, so I work at a community college satellite campus, and
Okay.
I'm the assistant director for that campus. And I oversee recruitment, academic career transfer, financial aid advising, student engagement programming, faculty and staff onboarding and programming, safety, security, facilities. I oversee all. It's a lot. It's a lot. So no 2 days are the same.
Right.
And so some days I have to, do more advising with students. Some days it's moving tables, helping my coworkers move tables for events. Some days it's going into meetings to talk about the safety and security in the area that we work.
Mhm.
But every day, I think the beautiful thing about every day is I work with a great team of people. We all have different strengths and challenges. And so we're able to feed off each other and pour into each other.
Mhm.
And from there, it's, coming home and just making myself something good to eat, something healthy and nutritious, because I gotta stay healthy. And then winding down, I might do some more work on the business or on the book. I do like watching Korean dramas.
Okay.
I love watching Korean dramas. Um, but then I start to wrap it up by probably like 8:45, 9 o'clock, so that I can be in bed and get up and do it all over again in the morning.
If Patrice was to meet a 16-year-old Patrice, what would you tell her?
Oh my goodness. So I would have been a junior in high school at that time. So I would tell her um, to embrace being yourself. And it's okay if people don't agree with you and don't like you or don't want to walk with you. That's okay. Just embrace being yourself. That's what I would tell her.
That's that's a good one
Yeah.
because that means you thought back onto everything and everywhere that you've been,
Hmm.
16 to now, and you're
Yes.
able to say, embrace that
Yeah.
one. All
Thank
right,
you.
Patrice, at this point, I want you to tell people about Patrice. Tell people your story and what led you to write your book.
So my story starts with a what I call an intimate violation that I experienced when I was 17. And from that incident, I I started looking for love in all the wrong places. And because I later realized after going through the healing process, because I was wounded, I was choosing the wrong type of man. And so the cycle of hurt was perpetuating. And so that went on for about maybe 12 years. So from 17 to 29. And then by the time I turned 29, I was turning, I was turning 30. I said, okay, there's one last relationship that I'm gonna give it a shot. And it was a young man that I had known even before I got into high school. We were friends, but as time went on, like after I graduated from college, we became closer. And I asked him if we could be together, and he said no. And I was so heartbroken. And because of the heartbreak, bitterness started to develop. I was resentful. I remember telling my mom, "Mommy, I can't stand men. I can't stand." I told,
You felt rejected.
yeah,
Felt
yeah.
rejected.
It hurt so much that I said, well, if he's gonna reject me, I don't want to be with a man. And um, I experienced even other incidents of intimate violence at the hands of other men as well. And there just came a point in time where I said, life has to be better than this. I have to do something different because this can't be it. This can't be it. And so I moved to Maryland in 2017, didn't plan on it, but there was a job opportunity that opened up for me. And I moved and I joined the church where I'm currently a member, First Baptist Church of Glenarden. And I joined a ministry for women who had experienced sexual harm. And as a result of being in that ministry and going through that ministry with other women who had the same experiences, I started to see God's healing. And it was what I didn't understand was, as a Christian woman, as I would pray and ask God for his healing, he was telling me, you're already healed. You just have to accept it.
Mm.
And so I started to accept it. And then I started to see um, how he would heal my broken heart from the rejection and from the intimate violations that I faced at the hands of men. I started to heal from my own self-rejection because I thought I wasn't worth anything because these men had rejected me or mistreated me. And I also got to see how God was using me, not just or what his plan for me was, or what his plan was, not just in regards to romantic relationships, but in regards to what he called me to do.
Mm.
And there was a time about 2 years ago is when I accepted my current position, but I wasn't even going to apply for it.
Wow.
Because I thought, I'm not good enough. What am I going to do in that job? And I prayed about it because it just kept coming to mind. And I prayed about it. And I said, okay, God, if this is the job you want me to apply for, have a woman in my life send me the job.
Wow.
And I was at Dairy Queen when I prayed that prayer. And on my way home, my former supervisor, which was a woman, sent me the job posting and said, I think you should apply for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at him work.
Yes.
Look at him work.
And so by the time I got home, I said, okay, all right, fine, I'll apply for it. And so I applied, and I believe that he rewarded my faith because there was a specific salary range on or for that position. But when HR called me to offer me the job, the starting salary was $10,000 more than what was listed in the position description.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I had not gone through, I believe if I had not gone through that healing process,
Mhm.
I would not have experienced the manifestation of what I call bountiful life, or, life more abundantly.
Right.
It's not all about romantic relationships, but how you can be fruitful in every area of your life. And so now I'm working on my book, as I mentioned before. And the goal of the book is to speak to broken Christian women, women who have been called bitter and damaged, and damaged goods, and just degraded, right? Because they are wounded and they have these broken hearts. My desire is to speak to them and share with them the strategies that I used to help me overcome.
Overcome.
Mm-hmm.
You had said at the beginning that um, you didn't know or didn't realize or didn't expect that you were healed. Why is that? Or why didn't you realize that you were healed?
So I thought, I guess I didn't really understand. I didn't understand what healing would look like. I thought that I would have to ask for it and just wait for it. But what I realized in just spending time with God was that it was already available. I just had to accept it. And so God was just waiting on me to make the move to accept it and to like walk out that process. You know, working with other women and even pouring into other women, going through the different exercises that I went through, journaling, praying, meditating. That was all a part of the process, setting boundaries,
Right.
you know,
Right.
things of that nature. So yeah.
That's how you came to your conclusion. It's, because we all do things to help ourselves and also to help others. So me doing this helps me also. This helps me through a process of healing. Um, I've been through 3 bad marriages that didn't work out. And at a point, I held myself accountable for all of them. But I had
Mhm.
to learn to release that and see that it wasn't just me that was there. And I kept asking the question, why? Am I not good enough? What is wrong with me? And I had to heal from that and know that it's not me. And it left me for a few years of running. I would get into another relationship. And when I see that it's going good or that it's getting deep or heavy, I would run or I would make something up just to like, okay, everything else failed. I'm going to make this fail too. I'm not deserving of this.
Mhm.
Until I got to that wall and it said, stop. I said, stop. Why are you running from me? You are deserving.
Yeah.
And I put that into work now with helping other women by having them to speak out and letting them know we all are deserving for everything that God blesses us. Um, it's a learning process for us all.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I wouldn't change a thing the same way you said. I wouldn't change a thing. Why? Because it makes me who I am today. It makes me strong. I can stand 10 toes down. Um, I'm resilient. Um, I get met with so much here in Atlanta. Oh, she's that way because she's from New York, she's from New Jersey. No, it's not that. It's my life. It's who I am. It's who I am. I could be from anywhere. And if this process or if these things wouldn't have happened, I could probably be a whole different person.
Mhm.
This is the path that God chose to lead me down. And I'm on a road now where I can say thank you because he brought me to it and he led me through it. So I'm blessed in that end of it. So I feel good to be able to help someone else. I feel good to be able to, when I hear people speak and I'm able to say or reach out to them to tell them, come and speak, come and tell your story, because you don't know who's going through a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old Patrice right now that needs to hear it and needs to know that you can get through, and you have the right to not hold yourself accountable, but you have the right to forgive yourself and to accept that you are healed.
Yes.
Yes. And when I tell you I watch you and I watch your videos that you put up, and I just look and I'm like, I knew her when she was a little girl. She was a little girl. And I am just proud of you. I
Thank
still love you. And your healing process has brought you out to be better than what you are. I see God all over you. I see you shining and smiling, and you are worth, and you are accepting of everything that He has for you. Don't ever think that you're not. And you think that your job was the greatest thing He gave you. There's more things to come. There's more things to come.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yes, there are more things to come. Patrice, before we go, leave us with something that will help other young women along the way. Leave some good words for them.
Yes. So if I could leave something for other young women, I would say strengthen your foundation. Know who you are and know whose you are.
Mm.
When you know whose you are, you'll know who you are. And no one, it doesn't matter what any person may say you are or what they may say about you. And I keep going back to God because he's my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
If God says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, if God says you are lovely, if God says that you are strong, if God says that you are healed, let your foundation be rooted in that. And do not waver. Do not waver. And if you hear anything that is not in line with what God says about you, it is a lie, and do not believe it. So that is what I would leave for the young women.
Okay. All right. Also, before we go to, I want Patrice to introduce you to her book that she has, which will be published in 2024.
Yes.
So I want to leave you guys with the title and just to leave it on your mind so that when it is released, I want you guys to run out and make her number one.
Thank you. So yes, the name of the book is Bountifully You, Overcoming Rejection and Other Intimate Offenses.
Okay. And we will be on the lookout for it. I'm excited. I can't wait to read it. So I'm looking forward to it. Patrice, thank you for joining me at the table. And as I like to tell all the women that join me here, it wasn't hard. I made a place for you. The same as God would. Come and have a seat at the table. And that is what we did for this evening. And I thank you for leaving your burdens there.
Yes. And thank you for inviting me to the
You
table.
are so welcome. All right. And you have a good evening.
All right. You too.
Okay.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to another session of Meet Me at the Table. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Right Side of 50.inc. And if you feel like you want to have a seat at the table, please contact us at info.rightsideof50@gmail.com. We look forward to having you at our next session of Meet Me at the Table.